Crafted out of a passion for horror and a love of movies like Event Horizon and games like Resident Evil, Dead Space was an instant classic that horror fans have come to appreciate even more since its launch. Does Dead Space even need a remake though? The original game running in backwards compatibility mode on Xbox still looks and plays amazingly well. And it released in 2008, and that wasn't so long ago, was it?
Senator Barack Obama of Illinois will be the next president.
Okay, I take it back. Let's move on. So here's the thing, the Dead Space remake takes a game that's actually still very good and tries to make it better. I've played it a whole bunch to bring you some impressions, so let's get to it. Set in the 26th century, you play as Isaac Clarke, a systems engineer on a search and rescue crew sent to investigate the Ishimura, a planet mining ship that his girlfriend is stationed on, which has now gone radio silent. Luckily, when they get there, everything goes perfectly fine and then they all go home. Yeah, no, of course not. Everything goes horribly bad, people die, and Isaac ends up having to run around a giant scary ship armed with mining tools. Wonderful. Let's move on. Everyone usually focuses on graphics, but I'll get to that in a moment because I want to talk about something else first. One of the most impactful and scary features of Dead Space was the excellent and intrusively uncomfortable sound design. The remake seems to have toned this element down, almost afraid to upset the player save for a few particular moments. As a result, some of the tension from the original is lost, and jump scares didn't seem to catch me out all that much. What it does do, however, is lean on music in a way that the 2008 version didn't, and it does this neat new trick where Isaac's heartbeat gets elevated at certain times to try and keep you on edge. The changes do affect the overall mood of the game somewhat, but it's far from a real issue, because it's still a great sounding game. And hey, aren't remakes fun because they're not exactly the same?
Same, but different. But still same.
It's worth noting that the game sounds great on 5.1 speakers just like the original, but running it in 3D audio mode with headphones was an absolute treat on the ears too. When it comes to graphics, the remake aims high and wants to knock your space boots off with stunning lighting, a detailed world, and super gory violence. There's a lot of beauty in the horror that you discover on the Ishimura, ranging from dimly lit passages to rooms infested with biological bullshit. On the Xbox Series X version at least, I feel a little bit bummed out though. The game can look stunning in 4K with ray tracing, but suffers from a very stuttery frame rate that's all over the place, often bouncing between high smooth frame rates and slow jitters. Running it in performance mode is silky smooth, but the lower resolution really hurts the impact that comes from a lot of the fine details of the game's new look. It sort of makes me wish there was a 4K mode without ray tracing that focused more on a higher resolution and a locked frame rate. The gameplay feels very familiar to anyone who's played the original series, however some changes have been made. The controls have seen some updates to bring them up to modern standards, weapons have had some extra modes added too, and most importantly some gameplay sections in the game have been completely overhauled. Areas that used to have you leaping from wall to wall now let you fly around similar to the later Dead Space games. Some new puzzle solving elements have been added too, such as circuit breakers that require you to shift around power, and in some cases completely redesigned sections compared to the original. On that note, the story has seen a few shifts as well, and Isaac Clarke even speaks during the game now.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Okay, so we've discussed a whole bunch of its parts, so let's just get down to it. The Dead Space remake as a video game is great. My time spent playing it has been engrossing, fun and impressive. But it's a remake, so it's a little more complicated, and so here's what I think. If you've played the original and it's quite fresh in your mind, this is still very much the same game in many ways. You'll get an improved experience, but if you're choosing between this and a brand new game you've never played before, well, you might want to pick the new one. If you've never played a Dead Space in your life and you're thinking about picking up the remake, I have great news for you. You're about to play one of the best horror games in existence, and in a brand spanking new package. The giant necromorphic elephant in the room though is really the fact that this isn't that big a leap over the original game. It's not the game's fault, it's just that technology just hasn't moved that much in the last 14 years. I mean, as an example, if you go back 14 years from the launch of the original Dead Space, games looked like this. Yeah, I know, right? So then, I really do love the Dead Space remake. As a video game, it's great. It's a new and improved version of an already incredible game, which is a lot of fun to play and easy on the eyes. It does enough to justify its existence as a remake, but it does leave me with a last burning question. Why wasn't this just a new Dead Space instead? We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button to let us know, and subscribe to the channel to see more of our videos. We'll see you there.